Today, I'm going to be doing a book review over a lucid dreaming book called Lucid Dreaming Gateway to the Inner Self. This is less than $25 on Amazon, and the author is Robert Waggoner. Now, my entire channel is about lucid dreaming, so if you're interested in the topic or you want to learn more about the subject, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be doing a three-part section of this book here. So the first part of the entire book talks entirely of the why of lucid dreaming. So if you're somebody that doesn't care about the why and you know the techniques and you know that they work, it doesn't really interest you to understand why these techniques work. You just realize they work, you do them, and you have lucid dreams. But if you're interested in the why everything is working, then this is a good book to get into. An example of what he's talking about in the book is he talks about people's fears and how they manifest in dreams as nightmares, and how people can always be projecting their subconscious fears that maybe they're not even aware of, and then how to address these subconscious issues that people need to kind of get over in order to have a fun, interesting lucid dream instead of somewhat of a nightmare situation. Another really cool thing about this book is it's filled with own personal anecdotes of his own lucid dreaming, as well as loads of other interviews with people. I've read a few lucid dreaming books, and this is the #1 book that has the most just personal stories throughout the entire book. The first part of the book is loaded with these stories, but throughout the whole book, it has its own personal examples of lucid dreaming. So I do like the book in that way, because books that teach only techniques and science-based evidence, which is awesome, that stuff is needed, but it is fun to kind of relax on this subject as well and not be so straightforward with what technique is going to work, but to relax and just read other people's funny incidences or funny events and kind of compare your own story to their stories. It does make for more of a fun read. Another really cool thing about this book is I've never seen any other lucid dreaming books go into so much detail about how to heal yourself in a lucid dream. I know a lot of this stuff is anecdotal and you kind of have to take it face value with what people are saying, but if healing yourself is a topic you're interested in, this book goes into great detail of the best way how to do that. More so in the middle of the book, once you get past the first chapters, now you're in the middle of the book, it's completely spiritual. So he talks about out-of-body experiences compared to lucid dreams, and that is really cool because some people don't know the difference and they kind of have trouble distinguishing between the two. So he goes into detail of how you can realize if you're having an out-of-body experience or astral projection versus if you're having just a lucid dream as well, and how you can kind of tell which is which. I thought that was pretty cool because I haven't seen that all the time in lucid dreaming books. They sometimes don't address the out-of-body experience. This one does. The second thing about the spiritual part of the book is he starts to talk about his own opinion of where the source comes from. He calls it the source. People might call it something else, but he's trying to describe what his own viewpoint is of where he thinks that people go to when they're in a lucid dream. He thinks it's more than just the dream state. He thinks it's connecting to some kind of higher source as well. He also talks about techniques that people can use to kind of build up their energy or surround themselves with like a protective white light around them in a dream if they're in a scared situation or something like that. So it's very niche oriented, this book. So if you've already been a lucid dreamer and you're wanting to learn more of specific subjects, this is a good book because it narrows it down very specifically. Like I said, the healing chapters, this chapter is talking about, the more spiritual aspect of things. But they also talk about precognitive dreams, which I thought was very interesting. Again, very niche. If you've already been involved with that stuff, this could be a good book to look into. And the other thing that I've never heard in a lucid dreaming book until I had read this one was the concept of becoming a color. So he talks about becoming a color in his dream. I think it was the color blue and what that felt like. So just dealing with all these other ways to kind of break down your own limitations. It's cool to see all these other people kind of shattering what you thought was maybe possible, and they're doing it. So if they're doing it, that absolutely means you can do it as well. Now the last portion of this book is entirely techniques. So there's nothing else but straightforward techniques, and the techniques are taken from other books as well. There are his own personal techniques, but they take from the last book review I did on exploring the world of lucid dreaming. They've taken a lot of techniques from that book as well. They give credit to the authors, but there are other books out there that are very straightforward with the techniques and the science, where this book would be mainly for kind of people understanding the mechanics behind why they're lucid dreaming, somebody else's viewpoint of what that dream space might actually be, and then a series of techniques. Now, my next book review I'm going to be doing is over the book, The Tibetan Yogas of Dream and Sleep. This is what it looks like. This is one of my favorite books of lucid dreaming I've read, so I'm excited to do the review on it. It'll be my next video. And once you're lucid in the dream, the rest is up to you. And as always, remember, this shit is so easy, you can do it in your sleep.